This is a Brooklyn-bound 2 train. The next stop is Wall Street.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Welcome back. This is Not Your Advisor with NYU Grad on the last Friday before Christmas here in New York, December 20th. Let's jump right into today's session. If you only have a few moments and you need to run, the summary is we had a bounce from Thursday's sell-off. We bounced roughly 61.8% to the Fibonacci retracement level. Pretty strong volume, about equal to yesterday's volume on the SPY. But let's take a quick look at breadth. We had 98 new highs today. Let me just refresh the data here, make sure this is right. Yeah, 98 new highs on the NYSE versus 535 new lows. We had 72% of shares advancing versus 24% declining. 70% of stocks were below the 50, and 50% of stocks were below the 200. Looking at the mega cap, most were green, very opposite of yesterday, but a sore thumb that stuck out to me was Tesla, down 3.4%, and Meta down 1.7%. Nvidia led the way to the upside on the Mag 7, up 3.08%. You had Google up 1.5%, Apple up 1.8%, Amazon 0.75%, Microsoft did nothing, down 0.1%. Taking a quick look at sectors, you had real estate bouncing the hardest, up 1.6%, utilities up 1.5%, technology about the same, 1.49%. Financials were bouncing to 1.1%, industrials 0.9%, basic materials 0.9%, energy 0.8%, communication services 0.5%, and healthcare 0.29%. Consumer cyclical was up 0.25%, and consumer defensive was negative 0.08%. But the real story here is we have 5 trading sessions left in 2024 before a lot of changes happen next year. Not only is it a new tax season, new year, we also have a new administration starting in January. And I suspect in the next 5 sessions, we're going to have some defense, hemming and hawing and clawing to protect these gains year to date. Year to date, technology is still up 35%. I think it was up 40% last week. So it sold off like 5%. Communication services up 33%. Financials are up 25% for the year. Consumer cyclical is up 23%. Utilities up 19% for the year. Consumer defensive up 13%. Industrials up 12%. Give me a break, right? Like real estate was only up 0.34. Healthcare is down 0.37. And basic materials is down the most, down 6.9. Energy is down 1.8%. But I think Wall Street will try to defend these year-to-date gains as best as possible going into the year. I'll post in the show notes for the free members the fib retracement levels. Some did better than others. If you take a look at the Qs bounced basically about 50% of yesterday's fall. Now, the 50% is not a true fib number. I don't know if people know this. It's 38.2, then 61.8. The 50 is more just for visual guide. It's popular. A lot of people look at it, but it's not a fib number. So get that correct. The SPY bounced right to the 61.8 and started to pause. And the Dow was the strongest of all the indices, bouncing above 61.8 before it kind of just flattened out for the day. What else kind of stuck out? Let's go through what was strong, what was weak. In the S&P, what was strong? The list is long, so bear with me. Enphase up 7.7, Match, the dating website, 6.8. A lot of lonely people out there, a lot of lonely hearts during the holidays. Carnival Cruise Line, 6.6. Norwegian Cruise, 6.3. Palantir, 6.3. Dexcom, 6. AES Corp, 4.9. I skipped Humana, 5.6. Dollar Tree, 4.9. Airbnb, 4.9. FMC, 4.4. Broadcom, 4.3. Occidental Petroleum, 4.2. Ralph Lauren, 4.1. Insulet, 4.1, Extra Space Storage 3.8, Iron Mountain Coffee 3.6, CrowdStrike 3.6, Smurfit, I don't know what they do, 3.6, GE Vernova 3.6, Dell 3.5, Globe Life 3.5, HP Enterprises, HPE is the ticker, 3.47, there's two of them, Newmont Mining 3.5, Arista Networks 3.4, Royal Caribbean 3.4. All the cruises were up, I guess. Everyone's going on a cruise because it's cold as F in New York. Public Storage 3.3. I'll leave it there. In the NASDAQ, we had a lot of up too. I'm going to try to dedupe. AppLovin 7.1, Dexcom 6, Airbnb 4.8, Mercado Libre 3.3, SMCI 2.8, Workday 2.7, Marvell 2.6, Lululemon 2.5, Nvidia 2.4, Adobe bouncing 2.4, Global Foundries 2.3, Micron, I said KLAC Corp 2.2, NXP Semiconductors 2.2, Analog Devices 2.1, Fortinet 2.1, CoStar Group 2.1, Zscaler 2.07, Illumina 2.1, and Ross Stores 2.1. What was weak? Not that long of a list. In the S&P, Old Dominion Freight down 3.1%. In the NASDAQ, you had PDD Holdings down almost 2%, and that was really it. For free members, you want to continue to focus on the forest, not the trees. Focus on the macro. Watch the 10-year yield. We're above 4.5%. That is the line in the sand. That is obstacles for the bulls. That is wind against the sails, pushing you back on the ocean. Continue to watch the Mag 7, and we'll see how we go. So premium members, please stay on. I have about 20 charts to walk through, and I'll let you guys break for the weekend. That's my train.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.